If you're a Malaysian and you're looking for a guide to obtain your Spanish employment visa for you and for your family, you have found the right place. It has been 6 months since my family and I have arrived in Barcelona, and it has been 1 year since I started the process back in Malaysia. I was struggling. There was no clear guidelines, and I believe the process could be way quicker and more efficient for you if you're going through this process right now. There are many steps over here. I'll break it down into 2 different phases. Of course, before you start all this, you need an employment contract from a local company in Spain. I got an internal transfer from the company that I was with in Malaysia. So my company in Spain engaged a mobility company to help with the submission in Spain itself. So here is the list of documents for phase 1. Number 1, your CV. Passport pages. Scan every single pages of your passport in color. Number 3, your national ID, which are our Malaysian IC, front and back, in color as well. Certificate of good conduct. You have to apply on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website, e-Consular section. It must be applied for every adult who is going through this process, and they will notify you when the certificate is ready for collection. On the website, it states that it will take maximum 2 months, but for us, we got it within 2 weeks. You will need to collect the certificate in person at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Putrajaya. The next one is your university degree certificate. If your certificate is in Bahasa, you need to translate it, or if you have an overseas certificate, you still need to translate it because Spanish version will be needed. And if you are a family, you will need 2 additional documents, the marriage certificate and the birth certificate, to prove that the family members that you're bringing over are truly your family members. Generally, these are the 7 documents. The CV, passport pages, IC didn't need any translation or any legalization, but the remaining documents, certificate of good conduct, my degree cert, the marriage cert and the birth cert, so require to go through the whole process of translating and legalizing. So this next part is where you need to pay attention to. So once you get a notification that your certificate of good conduct is ready, print the confirmation slip in order for you to collect the certificate of good conduct. If you print it over there, it will be expensive. A certificate of good conduct costs 20 ringgit per copy. So after you have collected the certificate of good conduct, the next step is to request for a translation code from ITBM. Go onto their website, request for a code, attach the documents and request for Spanish translation. You get a response via email from ITBM within a day or 2. The translation cost will be 100 ringgit for Bahasa to English and additional 150 ringgit from English to Spanish. So to translate a document from Bahasa, especially for the marriage cert and birth cert where there are Malay words, it will cost you 250 ringgit. I translated 5 documents and it cost me close to 1000 ringgit. And ITBM will take about 5 days in order to translate everything. Once completed, you will receive a notification for you to collect the copies in person at ITBM. Once you're done with the Spanish translation, the next step is notary public. Search online. There are definitely some notary publics near your area. The notary public will review the documents to ensure that the documents are real, and he will stamp, chop, sign to prove that it has been validated. This will take less than 10 minutes. It costs 50 ringgit per document. Once you're done with the notary public, head to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. For this step, they will attach the documents that you'll be submitting to the embassy, your university degree certificate, the marriage cert and the birth cert. I would suggest that you get them to attach a color copy and also the original copy to make sure that everything is covered. So once you've submitted the documents, they will review and an authorized person will stamp and sign the documents to prove that these documents are valid in Malaysia. One attestation will cost 20 ringgit per document. I would advise you to go early in the morning to make sure that you get in and get out as soon as possible. Whew, such a long step. We're just at the beginning, right? So after getting the documents translated, validated by a notary public and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, final step is to visit the Embassy of Spain in Kuala Lumpur. So once you get there, present the documents and they will do 2 things. Legalize the documents, it will cost 36 ringgit, and for the embassy to certify a true translation copy, 153 ringgit per document. A document that has been legalized would have a special sticker on it with a serial number. Just take note, they are only open from 9 to 12, from Monday to Thursdays. There was minimal crowd when I was there, but I would just advise for you to arrive early because the parking is limited, or else you'll be parking further away from the embassy. Once you've gotten all the documents legalized, you will then need to scan all the documents, send it over to the mobility company. They will compile all the documents and then submit it to the Ministry of Immigration. Hooray! Phase 1 done. But it's not the end. So the ministry in Spain will take roughly 20 working days to process it. The outcome that we're looking for is a residence permit or the authorization. I got my authorization on the 5th week itself, so it's about 20 days plus. And for my wife and daughter, they got it 2 weeks later. We were super glad when we received our residence authorization. We were like, yes, finally, after the long process. So anyway, so this means we're going to phase 2 of the entire visa application process. By now, you would also need to prepare a couple of more documents. For you to prepare all this in time for the visa application, I would suggest you to do it while you're waiting during the 20 working days. You will need to fill out an application form. For my family, there are 3 of us. We filled up 3 forms. You will also need 1 passport size photo each, the original passport, You can get a simple medical report from any clinic who does blood check, urine check and so on. We spent about 300 ringgit and we also went to the pediatrician to get an official health report to say that Riley is all healthy. And just note that this medical report will be valid for about 3 months, so you need to do it just in time in order for it to be still valid when you apply for your application. Then you will also need to return the legalized certificate of good conduct. The certificate also has a validity period. For the submission to the Ministry of Immigration in Spain in phase 1, 3 months, but for the visa application it could be up to 6 months. And the last document, the residence authorization, it is a simple letter that has a NIE number, which is an identity number for any foreigners moving into Spain. And once you get all these 6 documents, you can then apply for the visa. You need to pay 381 ringgit per application. They will take about 15 working days to issue the visa on your passport, and this will be the final visit to the embassy to collect your visas. Finally done with the process, and you and your family can finally book your flight to Spain. And here are a couple of tips. Number 1, do things ahead of time. Number 2, if you're going through this process during the summer period, just anticipate a delay in response. I was supposed to fly into Spain by December, but due to this delay, we have pushed it back by 2 months. Prepare your documents ready, scan a copy and store it on Dropbox, Google Drive to make sure that all these documents are accessible. Last tip is to make sure that you have fun during the process. It would be crazy, but at least this gives you a guide on the individual steps to maximize the efficiency. So with that, I hope this guide helps you in some ways throughout your whole visa application process. If you like what you've just watched, you know what to do, and stay tuned for more videos from us in Spain. Bye!